Okay. Part 2 is how to model a document for NoSQL database. So for bila dia cakap document, maknanya it will refer to the document based database. Okay. So this is just a recap from part 1. We have seen the SQL versus NoSQL, and for for SQL tu we know that it is data driven. So whatever data, structure of the data, so kita akan buatlah all the model, everything kan. Maknanya based on the data, then baru kita fikir application. But for NoSQL database, it's basically driven by the application specific access pattern. So you decide you nak access macam mana based on your application. So ada certain application they would like to ada fast access kan, quick access, dia maknanya dia akan guna ada certain types lah of apa macam mana nak store the documents tu, nak create the documents. Nanti kita tengok lepas ni. Okay, so dia ada themes for SQL. Basically the theme is about what answers do I have. Okay, based on the structure of the data, you buat normalization, everything, you come out with a database design, and then baru you nak fikir pasal the answers. But for NoSQL, it's about for the application, so it's more to the what questions do I have with team. Okay. Tak apalah, ini just dia punya ni je, tapi I think you dah boleh imagine, because for SQL database you need macam you buat hari tu the ERD, you need a table, you need to come out with a proper design for your database so that there's no redundancy, tak ada you need to check the relationship, everything kan, so before you create your database. But for NoSQL pun ada juga the concept for one-to-one, one-to-many, and how can we represent the one-to-one and one-to-many in this document-based database, NoSQL database. Okay, if you look at here, this is the ERD for many-to-many relationship. We have the person, we have the contact detail, and we know that one person can have one address and many contact details, emails, phone numbers. Okay, so when we have many-to-many, you need to have a join table here. So let's say we have person contact detail link where it will store the primary key for person and the primary key for the contact details. Okay, so it would join in another table. This is how the SQL database works. And next one is how the document-based NoSQL database being stored. Okay, we look at the records. Okay, kalau you tengok dekat dalam table tu, every row represent one records. Okay, so kita akan tengok documents ni per record, maknanya per row. So dia akan store an object also with its properties. Okay, for example, here a person, and the properties is the ID, the address, the contact details. So if the person has more than one addresses, so dia akan letak lah, dia akan ada you put two addresses under the person punya ID. Sama juga dengan contact details. Okay, so example here, kalau tengok kat sini, the ID, okay, dia akan ada ID, sama juga macam database biasa kan, ada primary key. So ID will be the primary key, okay, the key of for this document. Okay, and then we have another key value, which is address, and also the values for addresses. Okay, kalau you ada banyak details for address tu, you can buat letak dalam curly bracket. So dalam curly bracket tu ada another sub document lah for addresses. Tapi kalau kata you ada macam satu saja panjang untuk satu kolom saja, you can put everything in in the code. Okay. And then if we have another one, contact detail, okay, dia akan list one curly bracket, satu contact detail, another, if you have another contact details, so buka curly bracket and masukkan lagi satu. So you akan list kat sini. So kalau you tengok kat sini, dia akan list per person, per object or per entity. Okay. So as a whole lah, maknanya dia store object together with the properties and the values. This is how we store the data in document way. Okay, this is another one. Okay, another representation. So if we look at here, if we have a car, so for SQL, dia akan disassemble every parts of the car, and then it will look at every component tu lah. Okay, so then this is where we do data normalization. So if you can remember the first zero normal form, first normal form, second normal form tu, kita akan pecahkan dia sampai kita dapat the basic components. But for Nosql, the document based punya Nosql database, we look at as one object. So daripada satu object tu, you akan describe what what are the attributes ataupun the components of the object. Okay, so this is nak macam nak tunjukkan lah the difference between SQL and document base. Okay, kalau tengok kat sini, we can see that the NoSQL database is much more easier lah, sebab kalau SQL tu you must make sure that every data must be in the same format kan. Kalau kata ini tak payah. So dia boleh macam-macam. So for modeling technique for these documents, we have 4. Okay, first one is referencing document. Second one is, I would like to draw. Okay, embedding document, and then denormalization, and lastly we will look at the heterogeneous collection. Okay, but first let's look at the referencing document. Okay, referencing document is where you call the key of another document. Okay, you only call the key. Macam you buat database, you call primary key. So ini pun sama juga. Kita store the primary key ataupun the key of the document inside the other document. Okay, and enable document database to cache, store and retrieve the documents independently, because we store the documents separately. So you just imagine if you have 2 entities, okay, kita letak 2 collections. Okay, so collection, 2 documents. I pun dah pening kepala dah. Okay, 2 documents. So document 1 akan call document 2 menggunakan dia punya ID ataupun dia punya key. Okay, so kalau dia nak baca document 1, dia jumpa key tu, so they need to open the document 2 to get the details from document 2. Okay, and this type of referencing, okay, provide better write speed and performance. Sebab apa? Sebab dia cuma baca, dia cuma simpan key saja. Okay, and reading may require more round trips to the server. Why? Because it need to open the other document yang dia reference to, okay, and then go through the whole documents and go back to the original document, to the parent punya document. That is referencing. So dia ada pro and dia punya cons dia lah. Dia punya drawbacks dia adalah dia perlu require more trips, more documents to open. So you just imagine if you do referencing, this kind of referencing, macam kalau one to one tu okay lagi tau. Tapi kalau you have many many documents, so dia akan memerlukan masa yang panjang lah. Maknanya dia akan jumpa satu key, dia akan go and search for the entire documents, nak baca apa benda, apa attributes yang dalam dokumen tu, and then if it has another key, so sama juga buka lagi another document to get the details for that particular document. Okay, so dia macam banyak-banyak buka banyak-banyak files lah. And this is the example. Okay, if you have 2 documents, one document is about speaker and the other one three documents, speaker 1, speaker 2 and session. So for that session we have two speakers. Okay, dalam session ID ni kita akan call speaker 1, speaker 2, tapi kita store ID je lah. So this ID 1 is referring to speaker 1, ID 2 referring to speaker 2. Okay, so we store it under session punya documents. Kita tak store lah. Tapi lepas ni you akan tengok dia ada two types of macam mana nak call kalau kata many to many. Okay, this is like macam one to many macam tu lah. Okay, you call ID in the session. Okay, so this is one to many. Let's say one talk and we have many comments. Okay, one to many. So the first part, the beginning part is the session details. We have ID, we have description and we have text. Okay, kalau ada lah, kalau tak ada text ni, meaning that you mean ID and description only. And then after that, we can list all the comments associate dengan talk session tu. Okay, let's say here, kita ada comments, okay, dia list lah. Okay, ini yang tepi ni jangan pelik pula tiba-tiba kenapa ada meal pizza ni. Ini saya cuba relate dengan, ini apa kata last sem punya nota yang bila I explain dekat dia orang untuk Domino's tu, I letak kat sini. Patutnya I delete dulu baru bagi kat you all. Okay, tak apalah. Okay, and okay, this one, this is the key. Kalau kata you nak pakai session ID as a key, so in session, okay, we have many comments. So comment 1, session 1, and then what is the comments? So ID comment to C2 is comment 2, okay, and this is for session 1, so dia akan list another comments. So sampailah kalau tengok berapa komen yang dia ada. Okay, this is one to many. So if you have many to many relationship, okay, let's say one speaker can give many talk session and one talk session can be handled by many speakers. So there are many to many relationship. So you might have one join table here. So one join table ni dia akan ada speaker ID and session ID. Dia akan store both keys lah. Okay, tapi this type of referencing dia macam tak berapa nak efficient because you require two references. First one from the speaker and the other one from the talk session. Okay, so for this case, you have a choice. Okay, you have two choices whether you want to do reference by session or by speaker. Okay, so kalau kata by session, okay, you will put all the session under the speaker. And for speaker, you will put it under the talk session. Okay, you will list all the speakers under the talk session and then by session, you will list all the session under the speaker. Boleh This is how we solve the many to many relationship. So you need to choose whether you want to use which one. Okay, kalau dalam exam, sorry, it's not exam, not final exam but in test. Okay, test kita akan buat macam ni. So saya akan bagi satu macam case study, a simple case study, then you need to transform it into this document punya model. Okay, macam mana nak buat. So ada soalan dulu dia kata okay, reference by apa. So you need to follow the instruction. Kalau kata contoh dalam case ni, let's say lah this one is the question. Kalau dia kata reference by session, so you need to do macam ni lah. Okay, you need to list all the session and then speakers and then put the sessions under the speaker. Okay, part of the speaker punya documents. But for reference, so dia akan ada dia punya reference by speaker, dia akan put list of speakers under the talk session. Okay, so this is more efficient because it only requires one reference. So you pilihlah nak yang mana satu, but how to determine which one is better tu based on you punya requirements untuk you punya application. Okay, kalau kata you nak search for the session, then you opt for this one lah. Okay, kalau nak search for speakers, then maybe you can opt for the second one. And this is about the volatility. So volatility pun ada masalah juga kalau kata you ada macam let's say lah post kan. If you post something is on social media, you will have the ratings, likes atau hearts ke adalah macam-macam kan dia punya tu. So the number of likes and hearts ni dia akan keep on changing. So that one we call it as a high volatility. So volatility is a speed of change. Okay, how many times dia akan update. Kalau dia ada rapid changes, so we call it as a high volatility punya attributes. Okay, for example, kalau yang atas ni description, the tag, the speakers, it falls under low volatility because kita jarang-jarang update. Okay, because the speaker might have its own document, so kita cuma call dia punya ID sahaja. So any updates about the speakers tu macam saya cakap lah very pun kata it's not so frequent kan. Kadang-kadang je baru you nak update kalau kata nak update lah. Kalau tak kadang-kadang kita remain sahaja kan. But for likes and hearts, this is a frequent update. Okay, so you need to identify dalam you punya documents tu, is there any high volatility punya attributes. If you have the high volatility attribute, what you can do is you can create another document for that just to store the volatility attributes, the high volatility attributes. So for example here, okay, we have the session punya documents and then we can have another one. Okay, ID stat1. Okay, stat1 ni is the ID for the whole documents for this high volatility attributes. Okay, so session ID dia akan ambil session yang relate dengan ni lah. Okay, and likes hearts. Okay, kalau tengok dekat ni, sepatutnya kat sini bukan T1, dia S1. Okay, so dia akan refer balik pada dokumen ni, session ni. Okay. Okay, session sekejap. Bukan T1, sorry. Sini yang sepatutnya T1. Dia typo lah ni. T1, T is for talk session, S for speaker kan. Sekarang ni for speakers ni, kita ada likes and kita akan ambil, kita akan reference dia pada session ID adalah T1. Ini ada typo lah ni. Okay. That is referencing. So you ingat balik referencing, you guna ID. Okay, the ID of the document, you embed masuk dekat, bukan embed, you ambil untuk dia jadi part of the attributes dekat dalam you punya document. Okay. You pegang ID saja, you tak pegang the whole thing. You tak ambil the whole the whole attributes for that document. You cuma ambil ID, masukkan dalam dia punya document as untuk referencing. But we have another type. Okay, the second type is embedding documents. This is where we embed, meaning that dokumen yang nombor 2 tu kita embed, kita masukkan dalam dokumen nombor 1. Okay, yang tadi for one to many and many to many, this one to cater one to one punya relationship. Kalau you ada macam ada satu attribute yang fully dependent to another attribute. Okay, so this one you can embed the document in another document by simply defining an attribute to be an embedded document. So dia akan jadi macam nested dekat dalam tu. Kita campak the whole thing dekat dalam current document. So this embedding enables document database to cache, store and retrieve the complex document with embedded document as a single piece. And it eliminates the need to retrieve two separate documents. Sebab tak payahlah, you just baca satu dokumen saja from daripada atas sampai bawah, satu je sebab everything dah ada dekat dalam tu. Okay, and this type of documents provide better read speed and performance. Sebab apa? Dia cuma baca satu single document instead of dia baca, lepas tu jumpa key, okay, key pergi cari pula dokumen tu, pergi cari and then tengok dia punya details, go through satu and then patah balik dekat current document. If you have another key, buka pula another document, yang tu yang tadi kan, so dia macam agak slow sikit dia punya speed. But this one, dia cuma baca daripada atas sampai bawah because all details dah ada dekat dalam current document. Okay, this is the example for embedding document. Let's say we have speaker 1 and speaker 2 for that session. Kita just masukkan terus the whole thing, the whole information about the first and second speaker inside the session document. Tadi kita cuma store ID saja kan, ID1, ID2, but now for ID1 kita ada name, kita ada thumbnail, URL, short profile and everything about the speaker 1, and then close curly bracket, open another curly bracket for speaker 2. So dia akan jadi panjang lah for embedding document. Okay, because you need to store everything that you have for speaker 1 and speaker 2. So you just imagine yang macam pizza tu, kalau you nak buat, yang mana satu efektif. Yang mana satu yang you nak kena guna pakai embedding, yang mana satu yang you nak guna pakai referencing. Bergantunglah pada you punya keperluan. Okay, so this embedding can be advantageous when you have two data items often queried together. Okay, duk buka itu je, then tak apa, masuk je. So tak payah nak, you dah save the computation time, kan, the process tu. And then the second condition is when one data item is dependent on another. The third one is if you have the one-to-one relationship, then you bolehlah embed. Sebab dia tak ada refer to the other documents kan. And when you have a similar volatility for the attributes, then you boleh buat this kind of document, this type of document, embedding document. Okay, kalau tidak, you kena opt for referencing tadi. Okay, this is the example. If you have the two data item that often queried together, for example, for item books. Okay, books, we always, when we want to know about the books, we need to to provide also the information about cover, the chapters inside the books, and then everything lah, macam number of words, kan, word count dia, and then the type of front and back book covers, semua tak dalam ni. So this is the book info. So kalau you ada description, you can put the description under here. So this is the cover details. So dia punya details, ada two details, okay, front and back. And then we have another details for chapter. Okay, kalau you perasan kat sini, dia ada square bracket, dia ada curly bracket and also dia ada square bracket. Square bracket bila you nak letak different values dekat dalam satu-satu attributes. Okay, so you need to use square bracket. So dia tahulah, okay, dia akan ada macam array dekat dalam tu. Okay, so dia akan ada satu and dua sub-documents lah dekat situ, dua details about chapters. And this is where the example for one data item is dependent on another. Alamak, azan. Sekejap . Okay, so let's continue. For one data item is dependent on another. For example, here we have an order. Okay, one order. In one order, you can have many products. Okay, in this case, order one is made by customer one. Okay, this is the order date, and these are the products. Okay, that depends on this order. So kita ada 3 products. So dia akan masuklah. Dia akan list all the products yang terlibat tu dekat dalam that particular order. Sama juga macam pizza tu. So kalau you ambil order, so dalam tu akan ada meals. Okay. Yang you all kata ada meals, ada pizza, ada side order tu kan. So maybe you can have meals dekat atas ni, lepas tu pizza and then side order. So kalau kata pizza tak ada, then tak adalah, tak payahlah store pizza tu. Kalau tak ada dia punya details, okay? Ataupun values dia. You tak payah mention anything about pizza. Tapi kalau ada, contoh ada meals, ada pizza, ada side order, tiga-tiga tu ada values, then you need to list all all the details, all the values for the meal, pizza and side orders under that order punya document. Okay. And then this is for one-to-one relationship. For example, here we have one person named J. Smith. Okay, and it has many profiles lah. Okay, one profile. One profile named John Smith and join date is this one. Okay, 1st of March 2016. So this is one-to-one. Satu username, satu dia punya profile. Satu user, satu profile. Okay. And this is for the similar volatility cases where one person, okay, dia akan ada many social IDs, but we know that social ID memang dia punya volatility dia is very very low. Sebab you takkan tukar-tukar kan you punya social ID. So that's why dia kata similar volatility. Sebab name ni memang tak tukar, sama juga dengan ID. Okay, the chances of changes tu kat sini is very very low. Okay, so dia adalah low volatility. Low V lah letak. Okay, that's why dia boleh letak dekat dalam embedding document. Okay, boleh? Faham tak? Senang je ni. Dia cuma previously students banyak confused curly bracket tu. Curly bracket dengan square bracket. Kadang-kadang dia letak semua curly bracket. Tak ya, curly bracket bila you nak buka dia punya documents, buka tutup documents and then details. Tapi kalau you ada many details untuk satu attributes tu, you kena pakai square bracket. Okay, yang ni kena ingat. Okay, dalam exam yang ni ada marks dalam test you. Ini ada marks. So kalau salah saya tolak markah. Okay, tapi saya tak penalize lah the whole thing. I will penalize only this part. Okay. So next one, let's look at the denormalization. So for this denormalization, we have 2 terms. Okay, normalized and denormalized. Okay, so normalized dia macam tadi, you buat referencing. Okay, you pecah-pecahkan. Macam you buat database, normalize kan, you akan reduce redundancy, you cuma hold dia punya key saja sebab dia punya purpose dia adalah you tak nak simpan banyak-banyak dekat dalam satu dokumen. Okay, but you need 2 documents to read. Jadi sama macam tadi, we need more time. Okay, we need more time. So just imagine if you have a long document, so it would take longer time. And the other one is denormalization, denormalized. Okay, this is macam embedding tadi. Embedding lah, bukan macam, dia embedding tadi. Okay, we embed the details of the other documents inside the current document. Okay, macam dalam ni cases yang kita ada ni adalah kita nak letak speakers details under session. Okay, session punya document. So we have session ID, we have session name, and we also have speakers. So ini pun satu lagi nak kena ingat. Nampak tak ni? We have speakers, we have two speakers kan, Ryan and David. So speakers, letak buka curly bracket. So you start with the Ryan punya document, Ryan punya details. You list all the details for Ryan, open and close curly bracket. Okay, then you open another curly bracket to store the David punya details. Okay, close curly bracket and close square bracket, and lastly jangan lupa you close you punya curly bracket yang ni. Yang ni open, maknanya kalau yang atas dengan bawah ni dia akan tahulah okay this is new document. So tutup, dah settle untuk document session 1. So if you have another document for session 2, so sama juga session ID, session 2, session name, whatever name for session 2, and then if you have like let's say 3 speakers for session 2, so you list down lah all the details for the 3 speakers. Okay, the first speakers and the details, and then close curly bracket, open another curly bracket, store the second details for second speaker, and open another curly bracket for the third speaker, and then you akan close the square bracket. Okay, those are the important things yang you kena ingat, sebab MongoDB dia very sensitive pasal benda-benda ni. And next one is okay, normalization versus denormalization. So if you can see, normalize, it requires multiple read. I said it needs to open many documents. So every document tu dia nak kena go through satu daripada atas, daripada mula sampai habis. Lepas tu patah balik, lepas tu tengok, okay, pergi balik another document. So dia macam pergi balik. Okay, take longer time. And that does not align with instances and provide faster reading speed. Ini bergantung pada keadaan lah. Okay, and denormalize requires updates in multiple places. Kenapa dia kata requires update in multiple places? Sebab bila you embed the whole thing, let's say lah pasal pizza tadi kan, kalau you nak pakai embedding, you need to put the pizza details in every orders. Okay, you bayangkan kalau ada 10 orders, untuk 10 orders tu order pizza yang lebih kurang sama ataupun yang sama. So you need to store dalam 10 orders tu semuanya ada tentang pizza tu. So, let's say you ada perubahan harga. Okay, you need to do changes to all 10 documents. Tapi kalau you pakai referencing, since dia pakai key saja, you hanya buat updates dekat satu document and automatically yang lain tu pun akan ambil updated data juga. Dapat updated info. Kalau denormalize tadi, kalau you tersalah ataupun terlupalah nak update satu dokumen, then dia dah jadi inaccurate. Okay, tu dia punya drawbacks dia lah. And then denormalize ni in certain circumstances, dia akan provide faster read speed. Okay, like I said, bergantung pada you punya keperluan sistem. You nak buat apa dan you nak macam mana. And last one is the heterogeneous collection. Okay, so if we go back to the referencing, the type of referencing, kita store each of the entity separately kan. Kita maknanya speaker sama speaker, session sama session, and rooms pun sama rooms. Tapi each of these collection, dia akan ada, kalau kata you nak access, dia akan ada 3 different queries lah. Sebab macam nak access, okay, untuk speaker, nak kena buat satu query untuk access collection speaker. Untuk session pun sama juga. Untuk rooms pun sama. 3 different queries. Okay, sebab kita store dekat dalam 3 collection. So kalau bila I cakap collection ni, you imagine ada 3 tables. One table for speaker, another table for session, another table for rooms. Tapi this is homogeneous sebab dia considered macam benda tu setiap collection tu separately. But for heterogeneous collection, you dump everything in one document. Tak kisahlah dia speaker ke, session ke, room ke, you put everything in one document. Okay, itu yang ada square bracket, apa semua benda tu. Okay, for example here, kalau you nak buat for speaker, so you have speaker, speaker ID, speaker name, and then you list all the sessions conducted by the speaker. So sama juga for sessions, one session being handled by a few speakers. Dekat sebahagian speakers tu, you can list all the ID for speakers. Okay, you boleh letak contoh bawah tu kan ada speaker ID, speaker 1, short name Ryan. Kalau you tak nak short name Ryan tu pun you can also just letak je lah speaker 1 pun dah cukup. Okay, tapi kalau nak tak short name untuk speaker 1 tu pun boleh, tak ada masalah. So when the time you nak retrieve, dia akan keluar lah. You tahulah speaker 1 tu, oh speaker 1 is Ryan, speaker 2 is David. Kan, instead of kalau you tutup, you buang speaker name tu, short name, so yang bila you retrieve data tu, yang akan keluar adalah speaker 1, speaker 2. Okay, tapi again bolehlah buat embed dekat dalam ni, maknanya you can put other details under speaker 1. So this is heterogeneous collection. Okay, so dia ada banyak terms dalam ni, tapi sebenarnya dia refer pada benda yang sama. Okay, any question? You boleh imagine tak, you buat ERD tu, how are you going to transform your ERD into this document type, document based?
Rasa macam boleh nampak.
Kan, dia sebab you dah buat ERD, jadi you nampak benda tu. Kalau you tak buat ERD tu, dia macam tak berapa nak boleh nampak lah. You kena macam imagine lebih sikit. Okay, so we have another, kita ada sejam suku lagi. Okay, can we do the pizza exercise? Bukan tak pakai Mongo lagi, you try to create, maybe you can choose order saja ke, try untuk buat first one is referencing and the other one is embedding. Sebab ini yang selalu keluar dalam test. Okay, tak payah pakai Mongo, you cuba sketch saja dekat kertas ke atau dekat tablet you. Nanti waktu lab kita nak buat Mongo. Ke you nak buat Mongo siap-siap pun boleh jugalah. Nanti waktu lab saya bagi another case study. So you pilih yang mana mudah. Kau nak yang mana satu? Kau nak yes, using the same ERD that you kata yang you dah sketch hari tu. So pakai yang tu, cuba buat yang ni. So you can choose I leave it to you whether you want to use referencing or embedding document. So you boleh buat dalam group lah, sebab last time pun you buat ERD in group kan. Tapi test nanti will be individual, dia bukan group punya test. Okay?
Alright, Doctor.
Okay, so saya saya mute, and then if you have anything, any questions, panggil saya. You all dah ada kan nota ni? Saya dah bagi, saya rasa the 3 parts untuk chapter 2. Dah kan?
Dah kot, Doktor. Ada.
Dah kot? Ada. Saya dah bagi last week. Saya bagi semua untuk chapter 2. Tapi kalau tak ada, bagi tahu Kotlah tak dapat ke apa. Nanti saya forward lagi sekali.
Alright, Doktor. So kita kena buat yang tadi Doktor tunjuk tu lah.
Yes. Dalam exam naik tau benda tu. Dalam test. Test lepas raya naik benda tu. Dia ada part A and part B. Nanti saya tunjuk question untuk test. Tapi korang buatlah dulu. Okay?
Alright, Doktor.
Saya cari contoh kejap yang previous semesters. Okay, saya ada jumpa dah jumpa dah sample of previous semesters punya question. So there are two parts. Okay, multiple choice. So based on your knowledge lah from chapter 1 until chapter 2, all three parts. Tapi saya rasa yang bahagian web scraping tak masuk. Okay, dia sampai ni lah, sampai yang current chapter, current part ni lah, part 2. Okay, this is the first part of this test, and then second part nampak tak dia bagi ERD, and then you need to design above, okay, using a document type NoSQL database, having the knowledge that user prefer query by user and by item. Okay, ini yang saya cakap tadi. Dekat dalam nota, kalau you ingat lagi yang saya buat session tu, okay, yang ni, yang mana? Ni. Reference by session, reference by speaker. Okay, so you need to do by user and by item. Ini yang selalu student confuse. Yang by user, saya kan dia letak user ke atas and then item dekat bawah. Ada terbalik. Kalau kata by user, maknanya user tu duduk dekat dalam item. Item by item, item tu duduk dalam user. Okay, so you kena design lah kat sini. So this is 20 marks. Okay. Another example, dia bagi table kat sini. Ini monggo lah. Create new collection. Okay, apa query yang you akan buat. So ini you boleh buka MongoDB dan you kena type. Okay, you boleh snapshot you punya code tu and then letak dekat bawah ni lah as the answer for this question. Okay, so create new document, city, and then update record. And then add another record. So nampak tak dia punya tu? Dia ada create. Okay, dia ada create collection, create new collection, and then create new documents. Tadi create collection macam create table. Create document adalah kita akan create lah tentang city. So you ambil all the things about the city ni, you create dekat dalam, you create new document lah untuk setiap city ni. Maknanya ID, name, country code, district dengan population. Okay, and then you update record. Okay, you need to update record dekat sini. So instead of Bangkok ada berapa tu 6,320,174 population, you need to update to 6418080. Okay, ini yang kita nak tengok nanti dekat dalam record. So bila you update, once you enter, your MongoDB akan keluarkan the new value for population ni. And then you need to add record ID 3245 for new city. Okay, Patani with the population everything. So kena masuk lah. So nanti bila you dah add record, so dia akan keluar instead of 3, dia akan keluar 4 records dekat situ. And then you need to list all documents in the collections. Tu ni final one lah. Final output for the test. So ini 5 markah ni adalah 5 soalan ni 22 markah. Okay. So you start with yang ERD hari tu telah cuba buat. Nak buat pakai MongoDB pun tak ada masalah, boleh. Macam saya cakap lah, nanti saya akan bagi another case study as an exercise. So kalau kata case study tu you tak sempat habiskan this week pun tak apa. Nanti lepas raya kita discuss balik. Okay, yang case study tu is about, I think Maxis punya case study. Nanti saya bagi waktu lab. But for now, buat dulu untuk pizza. Cendera you all kan, petang-petang tengok case study pizza. Sia you all. Tak apalah, kita nak belajar kan. Okay. Test 1 bila? Lepas raya. Lepas raya week 6, maybe in week 7. Okay, second week of hari raya pula dah. Second week of ni lah, Syawal. Kita buat test. Boleh? Kalau ikutkan saya punya plan, sekejap ya. Tak ingat dah. Sudah. So, your written test, ya betul. Saya buat waktu week 7 kalau ikut saya punya ni. Saya punya plan. Okay, dekat week 7 maknanya within this week. Tapi kalau kata macam you all ada clash dengan adalah subjek lain pun ada test apa semua kan. So please tell me so that I boleh push ke week 8. Okay, so you akan dapat results untuk test tu in week 9 lah insyaAllah. Kalau kata week 7, week 9 you akan dapat. Kalau week 8 tu mungkin week 10 lah sebab kita ada ramai students kan. Jadi macam agak lambat sikit lah nak marking. Is it okay week 7 to week 8?
Okay je doktor.
Kan? Okay je. InsyaAllah korang alah. Pandai-pandai. Confirm boleh. Okay, so nanti lepas raya kita tengok analytics method. Lepas tu nak pening-pening pun dekat unstructured data ni je lah. Dekat Nosql. Yang lain-lain tu semua dah relax punya topik. Yang ni best, text analytics. For those yang buat FYP untuk sentiment, menggunakan text, sentiment ke or any projects lah yang guna text, so boleh fokus kat sini. Boleh tengok. Takut dengar test. Okey, lagi satu. Cakap pasal test. Kalaulah tiba-tiba, sebab ini pernah ada case tiba-tiba you kata, doktor MongoDB saya tak jalan, tak boleh buka, crash ke apa benda. Okay, just tell me. Kalau seorang saya boleh bantulah yang mana you boleh access you boleh pakai saya punya laptop. Okay, you boleh access saya punya laptop, pakai. Kalau lebih daripada seorang tu, then mungkin saya kena figure out lah. Tapi you cakap, you test lah dulu sebelum hari kejadian tu, you cuba buka supaya saya boleh cari alternatif untuk bantu you all dapatkan device. Okay? Saya tak tahu PC saya okay ke tak, tapi saya try lah PC. Saya try buka MongoDB guna PC dulu. Kalau kata PC boleh, then 2 orang boleh access lah. Kalau kata ada 2 orang yang bermasalah, then solve kita punya problem. Cuma kalau ada ramai-ramai tu, pening lah juga kan. But hopefully semuanya okay. Tak ada masalah. Okay, but if it's happen, so tolong cakap dengan saya. Jangan duk sembunyi-sembunyi, okay? Sebab dulu pernah ada jadi dan memang budak tu pakai AnyDesk, access saya punya laptop. Dia buat. Tapi saya tengok lah apa benda dia buat. So tak ada masalah. Kita cuba cari jalan penyelesaian kalau kata you all ada apa-apa. Okay? Tapi kena cakap dengan saya. You need to communicate with me. Kalau you tak cakap, saya tak tahu. So bila saya tak tahu, saya tak boleh tolong you all. Okay. Sila sambung buat. So kalau kata you dah buat, satu you nak tunjuk, you boleh share screen. Okay? Saya tunggu je kat sini. Semua okey ke? Boleh buat? Senyap je you all ni. Ada ke tak?
Ada.
Ada je doktor.
Okey, tak apa. Saya ya. Tengah try. Okay. So tak apa, dah almost 5:30, dah 5:20 kan. So saya off dulu. Okay, you can try and then we will continue during lab. Tapi you all buat jugalah. Okay. Nanti kita discuss waktu lab. Mungkin ada seorang dua boleh share screen nanti. And then you all, kita tengoklah, kita discuss. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Thank you. Selamat berbuka puasa semua.
Thank you, doktor.
Thank you doktor. Selamat
Thank
berbuka
Thank you,
puasa.
doktor.
Thank you doktor.
Thank you, doktor.
Bye.
Thank you doktor.